Storytelling is a very important tool that can not only be used to create more engaging ads but also serves as a main weapon when you tell a story or talk about something in a group of friends. I would say that storytelling was not mentioned in the book How to Do It. Friends and Influence People because Andrew Carnegie didn't know about its existence. Who has never stalled when starting a campaign or delayed starting that project, which seemed to be a lot of work? To get away from moments when you spent your ideas, in order to focus your creativity on the right insight, we share the 14 main ways to structure your stories. They are very actionable models that provide a good starting point for any brainstorming. Are they? 1. Product placement. Include stories that are related to the use of your product or the purpose of the brand in the narratives. 2. Narratology. Develop a story to explain why the company, or product, is the solution or a market reference. 3. Brand personality. Use archetypes, mental models, that position your brand in your customers' minds. 4. Pop culture. Absorb pop culture references to work and relate them to your product or company. 5. Have a page about the company on the website and whim. A great place to apply storytelling to your business is on the company page. There, usually, there is a text explaining what you do, what kind of service you provide, since when and other information of the type. Why not use this space to tell a story? You can tell how the idea of starting the company came about, the reasons that led you to choose that branch, and all kinds of interesting information about your business. Thus, you arouse the reader's curiosity and can make him more involved with your brand. 6. Produce content with stories on your blog. If you are already a fan of content marketing or want to start applying it as a strategy in your business, the blog is a great place to apply storytelling. When writing posts about your niche market, try to be careful in the text and think about how to tell a story with that content. For example, if you usually produce articles with makeup tips on your website, try to tell the story of some of the most used products or the evolution of makeup trends throughout history. 7. Pay attention to the words in the product description. If you have or want to create an online store, the product description space can be a great space to apply storytelling. By always paying attention to the keywords for your e-commerce SEO strategy, you can make the text about the merchandise much more attractive. If you sell, for example, t-shirts with prints by famous artists, you don't have to limit yourself to a plastered description. Why not tell a little about the artist's story or the design portrayed in the garment's print there in the description? That way, the person interested in that product will already feel more involved with it as they read the information on your website. 8. Use social media to tell stories. Whether on Instagram, Facebook or YouTube, remember not to make posts and videos just to showcase the products. Tell us how you came up with the idea of developing them or what are the biggest difficulties you encountered in starting your business. 9. Be authentic. An authentic narrative is the key to gaining consumer trust. Don't try to fool your audience with an exaggerated story. Customers know when you try to deceive them and they don't like it. 10. Have a clear result. A great business story leaves your audience with something. What lesson was learned from the story and what should consumers learn from listening to it? Business stories must have a clear outcome. Deliver a hopeful and thought-provoking message with actionable points that compel your audience to connect with your brand. 11. Be consistent. A disorganized brand story leaves customers confused and uninterested. Make sure your brand is consistent across all communication channels. Use the same colors, logo, and tagline for print and digital marketing materials. The repetition of images and profanity associated with your business creates brand recognition. 12. Engage customers. Use business narrative to make an emotional connection with customers. Talk about how an event related to your business affected you and what you learned. This creates an immediate response that makes your story memorable and shareable. People like to be part of the stories. Your customers can be characters of your brand. Find ways to engage your audience. 13. Know your best storytellers. The best storytellers are closest to the front lines, whether in services, products, or sales. Releasing these, trained, storytellers will increase the credibility and scale of your storytelling efforts, which, as in the case of IBM, which has measured this over 7 years, will likely result in higher lifetime customer values. That's a powerful return on investment. 14. Start co-creating. In the future, customers will play an increasingly important role in trusted storytelling. Smart brands already do this, it's time for others to introduce themselves. Some of today's best content is created or co-created by customers, another important way to engage and scale. Look at GoPro for examples of fantastic consumer-generated content. Microsoft has also done a great job of telling success stories through the lens of customers. For both companies, co-creation has proven to be an engaging way to scale story and content in a way that is both human and authentic. 15. Update your endings. The narrative must eliminate the lackluster endings. The economic benefit is a terrible end to a story. Simply telling your audience that your product will help them save money or time, by focusing on a rational and economic benefit, is a superficial ending because, as mentioned earlier, it has no anchoring in a personal and emotional outcome. And many of its users too. Shallow is emotionally unfulfilling. What users really want to know is how their personal lives will change. They want to hope that they will be better. What will money allow them to do to achieve community, achievement, credibility, recognition, and all the things that human beings desire? Money is just a means to an end. Find those passions and go there. Some simple questions you can ask to further help your storytelling creation. 1. What do you want to say? 2. Who do you want to talk to? 3. Because you want to talk. 4. Where do you want to flare? 5. When you want to talk. 6. How do you want to talk? You may find regular presentations boring because they don't tell a story, and the main reason they are boring. Think of children who do not like to read conventional texts without visual stimulation but love to read superhero magazines, and why is this in the visual stimulus? Think about it. Would you like to read texts with no visual stimulation or texts with visual stimulation for life? So remember to turn your ideas into visual stimuli. You don't necessarily need to magically take an image out of your pockets, you just need to make your storytelling make people imagine this visual stimuli. If the main objective of your storytelling is to make people remember your story, you need to generate an intense experience in that moment. That is, chance to remember will be much greater. Everything in our life that generates a very strong experience and easier to remember. An example is the person who is afraid to ride a motorcycle because he has seen several accidents happen. Entertainment combined with content and entertainment is one of the best partners for good storytelling because it doesn't make the story boring and generates even more emotions and good experiences. You should also create a lot of interest in the first 5 to 30 seconds, as this is what will give your story the most attention. One of the worst things about writing a story is at the time of letting go to put a good time for your story not to get so big and boring. Just leave what will facilitate the understanding of the public and what will make it full of good experiences and emotions.